So welcome YouTube. I'm Ball Python Loving Exotics, and today we got an amazing, absolutely amazing guest. I'm super stoked to have him, and I'm gonna let him introduce himself right now. Bring him up here. You guys should know who he is.
What
What's up,
is
Mark?
going on, everyone? My name is Mark.
I'm pretty sure everyone knows because Mark's Reptiles, but for those who are joining in now and all that and come in or watch this down the road, can you give them a little brief of what type of reptiles you deal with?
So the majority of what I deal with is venomous snakes, and the main goal is to just show the truth about them. So not exaggerate and play on the fears that people have, but show the truth and that they have a purpose, first of all, on this planet, and that respect is key. And then also to be like a positive influence on those wanting to learn instead of having that holier than thou attitude. I try to be nice and kind to people that want to learn and stuff like that. But yeah.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So, of your whole collection, what would be your ultimate snake that in your like your best price in your opinion in your collection?
So it's so hard to say, but there's two that I always go to. The black Pakistan cobra, just love the color black. But then I have a monocle cobra that I've had the longest. I always say she's my favorite personality-wise. She's just a great snake and has been used many times like as an ambassador.
Okay. Any close calls while dealing with the cobras at all? Because I mean, I've caught your live streams. I know you handle them because your videos. You like to, especially like the bite reaction videos. I love those, bro. Like, I love how you on some of them, if you have it, like you'll pull it out and you go like, "This is it," and like, any close calls though, like.
Yeah, there's been one that was extremely close, and it's even on video on security camera. But it was at somebody else's place. So out of respect of them, I haven't really showed that video.
Okay.
But it was so close that, I was focused on my friend and the snake turned around. And usually, I'm aware of everything. This was back in the day though. And it struck and I twisted the body at the last second. It bit its body like between my fingers like this. Yeah, wow. So it was really close.
What's up, Heads and Tails? Yeah, no, that is crazy because so to bring up some of the bite reaction videos, one that really stands out for me was the Fertilance one, and I know you probably have a few of them on it, but where the guy was letting it bite his boot and stuff, and like eventually it came back and got him on the finger, and dude, I mean, could you kind of break it down a little bit? Like, I understand there's different types of venoms. Is that more like a blood clotting one, or would that be more like it's going to make your blood ruddy?
That one, I'm honestly not sure which video you're referring to. And the venoms, the stuff about venom, I'm not going to lie, it's confusing because there's a lot of venoms that act to do both blood clot and make it thinner, thicken it and make it thinner. So like even the saw-scaled viper has properties of both. So that's where it gets confusing. I'm like, well, how does that make sense? But with that, I'm sure that, probably just make you leak and just cause a bunch of problems.
Damn.
And with the bite reactions, those are the majority of my viewers are from that. Of course, they want to see people get bit, but trying to break it down and show that snake gives them every opportunity to leave them be, but they keep pushing it.
Every time in the video. I mean, I remember the, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the lapid, the only lapid we have here in North America, and the kid picked it up and like it got him, and luckily it was a dry bite.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, still, just to be playing with something that could like doing it in a profession that you're doing it is one thing, but doing it because you're trying to be like, yo, this is what I do, and like, but I'm just gonna keep antagonizing the snake. Mm-hmm. I mean, yes, you're eventually bound to be, bitten. envenomated.
Yeah, with that video too, I do tend to think like, hopefully that experience didn't make him hate snakes now. Some people, they get bit and they actually like snakes after that. But hopefully he still is fascinated by them because he was interested at first, but luckily it was a dry bite.
That is crazy. So what would you say would be harder to handle? Because, I mean, you don't see a lot of people handle vipers free-handedly more than you do cobras. But, like, I know these two guys, you know them. I don't know them, but, like, I know you know who they are. Tyler Nolan and his best friend, which I can't think of his name right now. But anyway,
Chandler?
like, Chandler. And I saw them because I was going, I like your shorts too. Like, you show them, but they have some shorts too, and, like, they kind of go intertwined with each other on my YouTube. And they're free handling some of these, like, hybrid rattlesnakes. And I was like, dude, that's crazy. Like,
Yeah, so there's that one is clearly a very good snake. But there's a few, like with any snake, the only difference with the venomous ones is the consequence if a bite does happen. So they're still just as likely to be very easy. So the vipers, yeah, people tend not to free handle them as much because very accurate, very quick. But I've seen many people with the vipers that just pick them up like that.
That's crazy. So what would you say for somebody that wants to get into venomous? What would be, a good starting point?
So the main thing I would say is if there's somebody in the area or a facility, like a little zoo that has snakes, to ask them to, like, hey, can you show me some stuff? If they're like, that'd be the best start. But a lot of times with the private people, they've had bad experiences. So it's the liability and stuff is usually what makes them not willing to help. But finding someone to learn from, and then, like for me, I didn't have anyone. So I spent my whole life practicing handling without getting bit. Then I was practiced with non-venomous snakes using the hook till it became very comfortable. Then just was smart about it until finally, after owning my first few venomous, I found somebody that could show me more and help me hone in the techniques and everything. But yeah, finding someone and then doing what is suggested, following what they suggest and being serious about it,
Correct. I mean, you are playing with not really playing, but if you decide to go with any animal, in my opinion, I mean, you're taking on the responsibility of its life to keep it in good health and condition. And but doing venomous, yes. I mean, like I said, I would love to get into venomous. I just, that's another thing I kind of want to touch on with you. How do you feel about all the laws that are changing now, especially with Florida and Georgia? Like, U.S. ARC is doing what they can. I get that, but like, so Nevada, where I live, I can't have anything. I can't have cobras. I can't have rattlesnakes. I can't have anything venomous unless it's native to the state, and then only then I can only have it for 6 months of the year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, the laws. What's that?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I would say like the thing that comes to mind with the laws, it's first of all ridiculous because when you look at other animals, domesticated ones, there's never laws about that, and they're causing mayhem. But for us, the thing that we can do is come together. That's why I've always promoted coming together, because my boss has done a lot to stop laws from being passed. And every time he goes, he can see that people, when they say, oh, well, I'm doing it the right way, but he's not, they're not going to care because people are always going to do things wrong. But if we come together and talk facts, that's more likely to stop that nonsense from happening. I hope that makes sense. It's hard to put into words, but the division always causes more problems and will be the downfall. But if we come together, like U.S. ARC, and just list out the facts and how ridiculous all these laws are, then that's going to be the best for us. But yeah, it's ridiculous that they keep on sliding things in very sneakily too. And
Yeah. Like it just crazy. I mean, they're not just going for reptiles. I mean, they're going for birds, fish. I mean, there's a lot of things, but with us being in reptiles, like, yeah, coming together would be the best thing to do, because the more and more we don't, and we all, let's just say, like, I try to hit people. I've had people on with they don't even deal with snakes at all, like just lizards. Like, I'm willing to support them, like, because it's still a reptile. And eventually, I feel like if we don't unite, like you're saying, everything's going to eventually get banned. Even ball pythons, they're going to be like, no, too deadly. Well, if you could show me a video, sorry, but like, not to put this rudely, but if you could show me a video of someone dying from a ball python, I'd hate to say this, but I'd kind of like to see it. Like, it'd be a rare incident. But even for venomous, like, I don't think that people, I can understand, you know, if the government wants to make sure everyone had proper training, and they did some training course for you to get a license, which, you know, some states, I don't know how every state operates. I just know about my state locally. That's why I was saying, like, I mean, I would love to get like a cobra one day, dude. I seriously would. But at the same time, I'm not allowed to have one. And for me, just being married, kids, job, everything, like, I can't just, I could, but I really don't want to just pick everything up and move to another state just so I could get into something that I want to get into. But at the same time, like, I just have established ground here. But I just think it's wrong that certain states are allowed to do things and certain states are not allowed, because right there, I feel like that's just dividing us even more, even, I mean, just in the public alone. So,
is there facilities near you? Like, I don't know, you know how most zoos don't really have that big of snake collections because they're not the biggest draw. People want to see all the cute little mammals. But do you have like zoos or stuff with cobras and things that you've seen in person?
I've been to expos. I've seen stuff there, but in California. But I'm in Reno, Nevada, and we have one little small zoo. They do have a 6-tank, like, glass for snakes, but each time you go, each 6 are empty. So no, it sucks.
Do you see any snakes in the wild often there in Nevada?
In the spring and summertime, yes. No, not in the fall and, you know, winter. Rattlesnakes go into brumation. Yeah, no, you see a lot of bull snakes, garter snakes, rattlesnakes, but we only have the Great Basin rattlesnake here. I don't know if you, I'm pretty sure you know what the Great Basin rattlesnake is, but I mean, I've heard that the venom on them, they're pretty mild. I mean,
they're super beautiful too. Have you seen one before in the wild?
I've seen 2 here.
Really?
That's it.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah. No, they're really beautiful, man. But yeah, no, I just never feel like it. Picking up a rattlesnake, no. That's not, I don't know. Cobra, like I said, dude, I'd rather get in a cobra. There's reasons why. But handling a rattlesnake, I feel, would be very difficult.
Well, see, knowing your limits and being smart, that's another thing. Like, I always tell people, don't be afraid to, like, this is just an example. If I was teaching somebody and I was trying to show them something, if they weren't comfortable, it's much better for them to say, you know, I'm not comfortable with that. And instead of just going head first. So knowing your limits and stuff is a plus. It's something not many people have, common sense.
I don't know. When it comes to vipers over a cobra, like, it's just, I feel like the viper has more of a crazy kind of a body. They could go sideways and all this, and a cobra's going to hood up and come to you. Like, that, yeah. And if I'm wrong, please correct me. I mean, once again, I have not very much, if not all knowledge in anything venomous.
Well, no, you were asking about like the difficulty of handling. So, to me, the large vipers that are defensive, very difficult. They're the most difficult, in my opinion, because let's say I'm holding it with the hook, tail, hook. When they scrunch up, it pulls everything because they're strong. So now you're within strike range. So if you don't know how to react very quickly when they coil up, and if they do a defensive strike, it could, it's all very quick, and you got to be able to know when to let go and stuff. But that's why they're very difficult, in my opinion. The power and how they can pull everything within strike range. And the worst is when they flail.
I get that even with some of the ball pythons. I felt like because I do this. This might seem weird to some people, but like every 3 months, I actually physically take them all out of their of the racks, and one by one, I'll give them an actual physical bath in the bathtub. And like, some of them though, yeah, they're all like, but that's crazy, man. Like the stuff I've seen you handle and stuff, like I give you tons of props. Like you are doing an amazing job. You have a lot of educational stuff on your channel. I encourage people to go check you out. Not knocking on anyone that I'm about to bring up, like Tyler Nolan, not knocking on him. But I mean, if you want to actually learn instead of just seeing a man free handle stuff, like, then definitely check out Mark's Reptiles. I was telling you this backstage, like if there was a way that like an apprenticeship for you to teach people, I think that would be an amazing tool, because I know knowledge would spread with it.
Yeah, I appreciate that a lot. I try to be as educational as possible, not every time, because you probably can, or it's probably known that certain things sell. It's not very entertaining to see all the calm stuff, but I try to at least give some education. But yeah, in all, even though it's not many people, it means a lot when people message me saying that my videos have helped them, even if they don't love snakes, help them appreciate them and not hurt them in the wild. That's the type of stuff that means the world to me. And I'm sure like Chandler and Tyler, they probably get many people like that as well. And that's probably the best thing, in my opinion. It's helping change people's views.
Yeah. Especially when you're done with something that could take your life. Yeah. That is amazing. What's up, E-Reptiles? Ross just joined. Welcome. Thank you for joining. So how bad is that? Because you brought up your black Pakistani cobra. Once again, curious about venom. What is the venom on that? Like, is it more of a neurotoxin? Is it?
It's very toxic, and the thing with that is there's no anti-venom here in the United States for them. So, the Indian cobra is the same species as the black Pakistan, but being found in a different region, the prey items that are around, their venom can change. So even though same species, the venom can be that much different. So the anti-venom for even the Indian cobra doesn't work with the black Pakistan cobra. But if I am not mistaken, I believe I can't remember. It's in the bite protocol. There's certain anti-venom that will help if you are bitten by one, but there's no specific anti-venom for that snake.
Wow. That is crazy.
But isn't venom, like you said, is just amazing. Like how much it can differ, and it's most all the time depends on the prey in that area, and it's just awesome.
Yeah, I don't really support this guy for some of the new photos I've seen, but like not gonna knock on him or anything. But Dinkerman, he actually had a few videos back in the day, like breaking down the blood and all that, and like ever since then, like, I mean, no one's really done it. But then I came across your channel like probably a year and a half ago, some shit like that. It's been a while, and like learning from your style, dude, I feel like I was saying, it's educational. It's a lot more. You have like this calming approach about saying stuff, and I feel like that's going to draw eventually a lot of people to you. You're not aggressive about stuff, like, and that's good.
I tried that blood thing once with the saw scale viper, and I don't like stressing my snakes out, and that's like one of the only times, probably the only time, I pinned a snake down and had like extracted venom for that video. Feel bad about it, but when we're talking about the blood, so I had a little bowl with blood, no venom, then one with venom, and the one with venom was still, you could swirl it around like water, like even up to an hour later, even though the regular blood, got thick very quick. So it was amazing to see. But yeah, the one with dingo and most other ones, the blood turns to like jello, right?
Some of them, yeah.
I mean, that's amazing to see too, and I'm sure much more entertaining than just seeing liquid.
So, here's your and once again, not knocking anybody, but what's your opinion on the guy that allowed himself to be bitten by an inland taipan and a black mamba? You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Do you think that's hurting the community, or do you think that's actually more helping with, showing that he actually slowly invented himself with small doses to show, like, building a tolerance to your body for it?
Yeah, I was trying to think of his name. It's Tim Freed. But yeah, a lot of people do that. I guess I shouldn't say a lot of people, but there's many people that do the self-immunization. And yeah, I think it's interesting that shows that it works. And I guess one of the things he'd like to do is become a source of anti-venom, but instead of coming from horses, it's coming from a person, because there's a guy, legendary Bill Haast, who used to do that, and he actually provided his blood to treat patients when they were bitten.
Oh, wow.
But I think it's setting yourself up for failure. If, like, somebody like me, people that extract venom and stuff, they're gonna get bit, and those are the people that I understand more so why they do it. But I guess, yeah, Tim just wanted to show that it does work.
Okay. You don't milk? Do you milk a lot of your snakes, or not very often?
Nah, I don't feel like ruining I don't want them to be afraid of me every time they see me,
Okay. That is really cool. But so you got tell me if I'm wrong, the Western Gaboon Viper?
Yeah, the West African, yeah.
Very heavy body, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Longest, not fixed fangs, longest fangs though, in the venomous group, right?
Yeah, they say up to 2 inches, but I've been around some that are massive, full-grown adults, like 5 feet plus, and I always say an inch and a half is the biggest I've seen, but it's probably more close to an inch. But here's a fang from one.
I want to put you on solo so I can see that.
It's hard to focus, of course, but I mean, this is from a 5 foot plus one. Let me actually see how long this one is. But yeah, they say it gets up to 2 inches. Imagine a 2-inch fang.
That would hurt so bad.
It's like about an inch, but yeah. They're amazing snakes, and they are, again, powerful. They can strike any direction, so they can flip over their body, and they kind of explode. So they give you very subtle hints. It's usually like the tenseness in the body, but luckily, the majority of them are very laid back. They're like known to be very docile. But mine is a psycho, but that's probably why it was free.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, hey, that's cool. Is there anything that you don't have in your venomous collection that you do want to get?
Probably not. I think the ones that I've always dreamed of working with, are there. But yeah, I think I have all the things that I've always dreamed of working with, and think I'm set. Do you have any dream snakes you want?
Cobra.
Cobra.
Yeah. There's other ones though. I mean, like I would love to get like a non-venomous, of course, like a Amazon tree boa. I would like to get a rainbow boa. That'd be cool. Carpets python. There's other ones though, but the cobra for sure. If I'm talking venomous, I definitely would love a cobra.
Have you ever had a king snake before?
No.
So the king snake's behavior, like the way that they move and the techniques used, very similar to cobra behavior. So okay. That'd be good to practice, like using hook if you ever get a king snake, especially one that's psychotic. Now in Nevada, I don't know if there's black racers. Is there?
No.
That'd be another good one. They have similar movements and they're typically very defensive. They'd be like handling the most crazy cobra. So if you could handle that, practice with it without getting bit, that'd be a good one to practice with.
So would you say it's probably best to get into something that was like rear fang venomous first, like so like a false water or hognose? Sorry, not knocking the hognose, just doesn't cut it for me. But like something like that, like where you, like you're saying, something that will try to attack you, just for movement and all that. So like an indigo, how do you feel about someone getting into that? Like, do you think that would be a good one for learning? I've heard that was good.
So the indigo would probably, I'm good. Thank you. Yeah, I'm all right. Thank you. Indigo, never worked with one, but I assume that they're very similar. Thank you, Hannah. Sorry, she was trying to bring me some dinner. The false water cobra, probably be good practice. It really depends. So I'm gonna bring up something I want your input to. It's, okay. There's certain snakes, of course, it's probably best to start with a native one, so that there is anti-venom if there's ever a accident. But I kind of lean towards also getting the one that you want to work with, and because the thing is, like, I guess in my head, is the care going to be there if you just get a snake just so you can learn with, and then once you become skilled enough, now you no longer really care for that snake. Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense.
So do you feel like people, if they are interested, should go for the snake that they want to work with, or start with ones that they generally more easygoing or whatever?
I would say probably not go with what you want, because let's just say this. Okay, so everyone's different. So like that's me getting into something and really wanting it, and then once, like you said, learning a lot about the animal, watching it grow, and then now you got this new prize on your eyes, and it's like, oh, I want to go work with that. Maybe starting off with not what you want, just so you could see if it's for you and you're not wasting. Well, that's bad to say it that way too, because then I feel like the animal you're getting might not have a chance to. I don't know, like. Probably though, like I said, starting with something you really like. I never thought I'd get into green basilisk lizards, and now I got two. Like, now I want to get more. Like, I would like to do little breeding projects with them. Like, it'd be fun. But getting what you like at the same time, I feel like is a good way to go, because then that might be the ultimate dream snake that you always thought about having, and now that you got it, it's like never breaking and it's always bonding.
No, I mean, I definitely think the going with something to start with, especially a native one, because now that I think about it, especially bringing it up to you, is first of all, I hear this type of suggestion thrown around and wanted some input, but like if you wanted to work with a black mamba, that'd definitely not be a good one to start with,
I totally agree. I don't think. Okay, so yes, I do agree there. That's like me getting into a venomous, right? But I'd rather start with a Great Basin, even that I'm not really gonna free handle that thing, but just to deal with something that is venomous, like you said, locally. So if something does go south, you do end up getting bit. Anti-venomous. I mean, you get like monocle cobra. You get bit. Nevada's not going to have the anti-venom. Now, now you got to think about like now your bite in Nevada has become even greater, and the price is going to go up because they're going to have to airlift you out. All this other stuff, like it's not worth it. It's worth it, but it's not. I feel like I see what you're saying. Probably working around something more native to your state is probably the best way to go, in my opinion.
Yeah, I tend to lean with that. I guess when I originally heard that other suggestion, it was always about, I guess, the care. I always would be like, well, what if they get something to start with that's best, and then the care for the animal goes down? Because the care is the main thing. Like, but yeah, starting, especially with somebody else's, learning from them would be the number one way to go.
So how is feeding the black mamba?
Feeding. So I've only fed one.
Yeah.
I never handled one. My boss was the only one that handled it, even though it was a laid back one. The cobras high feed response, they go all over the place. And again, I have experience with just one black mamba, but it would like analyze it and then strike. So it wasn't too bad. If that one flung around, I'd just toss it in. I'd be scared.
That's crazy. Yeah, no, because I remember the video, and yeah, it was your boss's. So that's really cool, man. Like even to work with stuff that you don't have in your collection is really amazing too. That even shows like more knowledge that you have. Yeah, I mean, I feel like even for people that want to get into venomous like myself, maybe not owning a venomous snake just immediately would probably be the best way to go. Hitting up, like you said, someone locally, cleaning out their tanks in front of them, just trying to, gain knowledge about the snake and whatnot, see how they act and how they respond, because each snake's not going to be the same. They all have different, attitudes. Some are, like you said, really chill, even with ball pythons. And then there's some that are just like, no, I'm going to bite you.
Do you have any like that are?
Yeah. I have one spot nose female, and any second she gets, she'll be balled up and she'll come flying out of the ball just striking. I'm like, yeah, it's not fun.
Have you bred them? Have you successfully bred the ball pythons yet?
I've had 2 flushes.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not all these other big rock stars out there breeding pythons, but no, it's fun, man. Like I enjoy what I do, and just dealing with reptiles in general. How many people's lives personally, locally, that I have changed, from those who were like, reptiles, aren't they slimy? Aren't they mean? Don't they bite a lot? Aren't, all these other questions. And then like just giving them knowledge of what I know about ball pythons. And I've had coworkers, hey, when you get a snake, clutch, let me know. And I've sold a few of them already. I actually was kind enough to give away 2 of them. All of them are doing great. But just giving people knowledge, man, about any reptile or any animal they're doing that you have knowledge in, and you could spread it.
Exactly.
Can't say I know everything.
That's there's always stuff to learn.
But I don't know how you keep venomous. Like, I don't know if you have like, actual tanks like set up or whatnot, but like, ball pythons, racking systems, so they're in a tub and all that. And is it hard to pull out some of the venomous that you have at times?
Yeah, but mainly because it's like they will get tangled up and stuff. And especially like when I do the lives, sometimes I'll try like 2 times. And if it's if it's not in an area where I can get it, I'll just give up. But like, for example, the arboreal vipers, they always coil onto stuff. So you're trying to get it out and it'll wrap its tail around something else. And it just takes patience, you know? And then the cobras will always try to go behind like a hide or something, and it just can get frustrating.
Do you have a cobra or anything like that that is like the one that you could always handle?
I'd say the majority of them are very laid back. There's the black Pakistan cobra is very defensive, so he's always like that. And then the forest cobra is a little wacky, but all the other ones, pretty much all of them, I could,
Okay.
yeah, very laid back.
That is really cool. And just curious of how that, So what about, do you have any, you don't have a lapid, do you?
Have what?
Now, a lapid. Any lapids?
Yeah, so the cobras would be.
Well, I mean, okay, sea snake, crates, anything like that?
Oh, no. The crates, I think, pretty expensive. Plus, they're like king cobras. They'll feed on other snakes, and I don't have source for snakes to feed.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And the sea snake, I don't know if people have been successful with them. They might, but I don't know.
Okay.
I would love to see one out in the wild, though. I'll tell you that. Sea snake.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see one too, just from a little bit of a distance.
Yeah.
But no, that would be really cool to see. As for the I got to see. I had Dan from DM Exotics on here before, and he lives over there in Thailand, and he shows the I think the black and yellow crates all the time. I'm like,
Oh,
dude,
nice.
those are pretty epic, man. He was saying like they're chill during the day, but like at night, like probably not the best time to handle it.
So you know how we're talking about the venom and stuff, and
Yeah.
you probably know that the sea snakes very toxic because they have their prey can get away very quick, so their venom has to act quick. There's a sea snake that now feeds exclusively on fish eggs, so there's no purpose for venom anymore. And now their fangs, I don't even think they have fangs anymore, and their venom glands have reduced, and I'm sure over time they're going to be non-existent, no venom anymore, because they eat just fish eggs. So it's just crazy how I guess all of this works, you know?
Yeah. Just yeah, it's like the next following premise for them.
Mm-hmm.
That is really cool. Like just to know that, like I wonder if that would be. I don't know about land, like snakes, but yeah, water snakes. I mean, yeah, that'd be pretty cool to see if they actually do evolve to non-venomous. I don't
What
know.
was the guy's name that you were mentioning in Thailand?
Dan from DM Exotics.
Okay. Once we're done with the live and stuff, send me over his page. I'd definitely check it out.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, he's a good guy. I got to meet him in person. He was actually at the Anaheim Expo last time I went. He was fun.
Oh, really? He comes to the States too, or does he lives in Thailand though?
He's from here, but he married his wife and they live over in Thailand, but they come here half the year and half the year they're over there.
Oh, okay. That's awesome.
I would want to skip the winter too if I was him too.
Yeah,
I'd be like,
definitely.
yeah, I'm not freezing. Now, how do you feel about like dealing with like or I know you have venomous snakes, of course, but like snakes from like Australia, like the inland taipan. What are your thoughts on keeping those, or even should we have something like that? I mean, I know some people do it.
Well, I think being able to get them, I have no problem with that. It's the import laws from Australia. So the stuff that's here, there's very few Australian species. So unless people are breeding them, the thing with them is they're so expensive because of that reason. And like I work with one, a little tiny one, but um, yeah, I could definitely personally could not afford that. They're like probably, I don't know, $2,000. Way too much for me.
And that's not even buying the snake, right? That's just like getting them over.
I
That's
don't
just
think
like,
you can import them anymore unless
oh, okay.
I'm sure people can, the people that are rich and everything, but their importation laws are very strict. And then, but I do know that there are a few people here that do breed some of the Australian species, but
Okay.
it's not many.
Um, just out of curiosity, what are your state laws of where you live?
So where I live, there's no restrictions, but it goes by county. So even though the state is like that, one county can be completely banned. The next county could be you needs a permit. The next you may need nothing at all. You could just get them. So, and I'm sure every state might be like that. That it's based on county.
Okay. Okay. Um, is there now? I'm just curious once again because of how it is here. Is like where you're at. Is it like you could have, if it's no restrictions, anything you want, but or is there like a limit you are set to? Like you can't have more than like 4 of these.
So I think there was only a limit with native stuff. So let's copperhead, for example. You could only have 5. The laws changed though. So now you can only have one native species, period, per household. So if I had a box turtle, my brother, my wife, my family members, they couldn't have another native species. So it used to be you can have up to 5, but now with native stuff, you can only have one. But everything else, there's no limit or anything. But in another county, there might be. I don't know.
No, I get it, county by county, but that's so crazy. You think the more native stuff would probably be more recommended than some of the stuff that we might not have the anti-venom for,
Yeah, that law is very strange because, it applies to everything. So if a kid wants to keep like I don't know, just an example, a toad, then their sister or brother, if they want something, they can't get it, they'll have to go to the pet store and get something. Uh,
Huh. I don't know if I really like that law though. But it is what it is. I mean, can't really change it myself. So, but I think if it's native, you should have. It's native. That's a good thing.
well,
I
I
don't
think
think
the
there's
thing is they claim it's about if you have it and then release it, that you're introducing parasites. But then again, people that work with falconry can trap a hawk, keep that hawk for 20 years, and then release it. Those are going to fly all over the place, different states. So if they're worried about, it's just some things just don't make sense. So I understand the parasite type thing, but there's also other aspects where, again, like the hawk, will travel many miles, but that you can release them 20 years later.
So, my wife asked me this last night, and she not to ask you, but she asked me last night, and she was like, "Oh, what do you feel about this?" And like, kind of got brought up in my other live stream with Derek's Reptiles last night, and basically she was saying like, how do I feel about how cities do events, and at the city events they have food trucks. Well, at some of these food trucks they have reptiles that have been cooked, like alligator, Burmese pythons. In my personal opinion, I think it's wrong. I understand that like we do eat cows and chickens and whatnot, and turkeys and whatnot, but to kill a Burmese or a gator, and then I don't know. I find it wrong, especially with like Florida. I could go all day about the FWC and like how Florida's messed up and like how that shouldn't. I mean, a lot of people could argue with me and be like, it's not really because of bad ownership with people, but eventually there was bad ownership to where they let them go. Snake got too big. But what are your opinions about those who like to, just do you think it's okay for them to go out and try Reptile, or do you think it's more like that's wrong? I'm just curious. And
Like I of course, like you, have uh, a love for these animals, so it's always gonna be sadden me that that's the case. It does surprise me though, like when you go to Florida in the gift shop, it says "Welcome to Florida," and there's a severed alligator head. It's just strange that that's how we treat these animals, But yeah, I guess it all depends. With the cows you were mentioning, we have farms, breed them up, and if they were coming from an alligator farm, I guess it's better than taking it out of the wild. So I guess that'd be, I don't know, it's a touchy thing. I personally don't like seeing any of the reptiles hurt. So, but I guess, yeah.
yeah, no, I agree. The whole skin trade. I mean, I don't know if you ever watched the ball python movie by Dave Kaufman, and he was talking about the skin trade in it, and like even with like seeing people that do boots or belts or handbags as snakeskin, I'm like, it's wrong. Like, I don't like it. I mean, that goes even for like any animal. You shouldn't just kill it because you want it to turn into a bag or yeah, no, it's wrong. I just don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
I think people that, I mean, once again, I can't stop the food truck from selling what they're selling. But would I try it? No, I don't think I know I want it.
Mm-hmm.
That's like one of my snakes dying. Like, it's okay for me to, like, this is what I'm okay with. If one of my ball pythons, if you live close by and it was at its end of its ropes and it eventually passed, freeze it. Here you go, Mark. You could feed it to your cobra, or whatever ones that what I'm saying. Like, but I want to be like, yeah, here, like, go chop the thing up and make it into a kebab. Like, no, like, it's not right. So, I got a really tough question for you. For those who watch this later down the road, right now, tomorrow, whenever, if there is something positive from your own mind and all that, is there something positive for the next generation that does catch this live stream, even if it's 20 years from now? What is something positive you could leave behind for them to be more inspired to continue to be in the reptile community and help reptiles get better and well known as not as these crazy animals that just want to eat and kill, but more respect and love? What would be something that you would leave behind for them to work at, like, as a bridge?
So the main thing would be to, first of all, learn as much as you can, treat not only the animals kind, but the other people around you, even those that aren't interested in reptiles, but especially those that share the same interest. Remember to be kind and respectful to when you're doing things like education, to remember that the majority of people don't like snakes and that it's up to us to remain calm and speak with education instead of emotion. So, you'll deal with people talking about hurting these animals. And if you respond out of emotion and say something rude back, most likely those people are going to continue hurting the animals. But if you're able to take a step back, even though it's hard, and be kind to those people and understanding, you're more likely to change their views. But to just remember why you got where your passion, don't forget about what got you into these animals, and just to remain kind and respectful to each other, the animals, and people you interact with. I guess, yeah, that would be the main thing.
Okay, that's a really good answer. I like that. I'm not going to keep you much longer just because I know she brought you dinner. But I do have one thing. If you could do this for me, but if not, I completely understand. Is there any possible way we could see one? Anything that you want to show?
Well, there is. I fed all the snakes yesterday, but I got one of my snakes back from a friend. So there's one I can bring out. I'll have to go get her. But yeah, that's probably the only one I can bring out without risking a regurgitation.
Same. I mean, ball pythons, so I mean, like, I fed everybody yesterday, of course, frozen thawed. And yeah, no, I get it, because that's the last thing I want to see a snake do is mess up their whole body, because they're not like humans. I mean, those who don't know, that acid just lays there.
Yeah. Well, if you don't mind giving me, it'll probably take like 2 minutes. I got to go out there and get it. But
yeah, you're totally fine. Just be safe. Just be safe.
All right. If I don't come back, you know why. I'm just kidding.
Those who are watching, Mark has been an amazing guest. Like, this guy has intelligence, knowledge. He knows what he's doing. He has amazing animals that are, yes, most people could be like, could take his life, but at the same time, he knows what he's doing. I hope you guys have enjoyed so far. There's going to be another live stream tonight later with LMK. Fun time. Mark is a great guy. Once again, if you guys haven't already, please go to Mark's YouTube channel, which is right above me, Mark's Reptiles, and check him out. Go give him a subscribe. Smack the like buttons on his videos. Share them out. Let's get more people into reptiles, and let's try to get him to be good guest. Thank you, Paul. Welcome, Paul. Madman live feed, ASMR. I am stoked. We're about to see something like really cool. I don't know what, but I'm excited. We're about to see some cool stuff. Something cool. Any snake's cool though. I mean, he could watch. It'd be funny if he came back with like a king snake and be like, yeah. Definitely could learn a lot from him. He's been handling for quite some time. I've been subscribed to him well before he had 5,000 subscribers. He knows his stuff. Definitely go give him a subscribe. He is.
It's snowing outside, man.
Oh,
it's freezing.
I bet.
But anyways, what I have here is a Chinese cobra. This is a female. I have a male as well. My friend was taking care of this girl for a little while until they're ready to be paired up. So this is one that I would love to eventually breed, the Chinese cobras. Very beautiful. Now with these are not spitting cobras, but some individuals, and she's one of them, have a tendency to fling venom. So their fangs are slightly modified to allow that. But they're not considered spitting cobras. So these can actually fling it, similar to spitting cobras, but not the same. So it's pretty cool.
Wow. How often do they hood up? I'm just curious, like.
So it really depends on the individual. This girl is typically very, I guess cage defensive would be the word. But once you get her out, you can see how calm she is. And that's how the majority of them are. They'll be defensive, but once they're out, they might remain that way for a little bit, but they'll generally, or at least mine, will calm down right away once they're out. So it's like a tough guy, like the keyboard warrior is how I like to compare it. They're tough, but then when they're in person, they'll be like this, very calm.
what are your thoughts about free handling?
So my thoughts are, I don't really care what other people do. I've done it many times. I have plenty of footage, even though I've like never made it like public. I've been doing these reactions to like reacting to the past where I've been showing that stuff. But personally, I don't care what people do. So although yeah, I won't say I don't anymore because I have. But I just try to be as smart as possible now because I do have a wife and I need to be smarter. Doesn't mean I always am. I can't help it sometimes with baby cobras, especially. They're the cutest to me.
Yeah, no, I I've seen some babies recently, uh, albino monocles. Like they were so pink looking. They were so cute, so little. But I know they could still get you and bite you, and like you could still, get messed up or die. But no, yeah, that'd be different because they are, and their little hisses, dude, and little like strikes. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, they're the cutest animal in my opinion. Baby cobras. Just watching them hood up and they'll fall over because the hood is like too heavy for them.
So before I we're about to end it, but is that as big as the Chinese cobra gets, or does he get bigger? Or?
So I think that average would be about 4 foot, but there's probably been some individuals that are 5 foot plus, so they can get much bigger.
What is, besides the king cobra, what is the longest cobra besides the king?
The forest cobra.
Okay.
Get up to 10 feet long. Yeah.
Wow, that is epic.
Mm.
That is epic. But I want to end it here, Mark. Don't leave though. I want to let everyone say goodbye and all that. But Mark, if you want to say goodbye before we end this, and I want to talk to you one more time backstage, and go from there.
Well, first things first, thank you to everyone that was here, and thank you to you for reaching out to me and having me here. It's an honor. Truly appreciate it. But yeah, thank you, everyone. If there's one thing I can ask, be sure to like and subscribe. And thank the host.
Appreciate it. But I got to say thank you to you as well. I mean, you're, as much as you might say no, I know you're very humble, but you are a true up-and-coming legend. I mean, you are also what they would consider now a celebrity in a way, because, I mean, you do have over 100,000 followers on IG. You got tons of subscribers. Dude, keep up the great work. Don't stop. Keep pumping out videos, because you pump out a lot of videos throughout the day in shorts. Just keep grinding, bro. Like, you are an epic person to learn from. You're a great person to know. And I know there'll be plenty of golden opportunities for you in the years to come because of the knowledge that you do have. And I truly appreciate you coming on the show today, man.
That means a lot.
Everyone, I appreciate that too, that it means a lot. Oh, yeah. Everyone that is watching, though, thank you. Until next time, I'm Ball Python Love. I do have another live stream tonight on LMK's channel for the LMK Love Show. I'll see you guys all there.